That nigga big ass Mo, chillin' with my partner named Pt1. Is on his birthday, we coming through. In a nigga trunk, is that nigga named True.
What is going on, Houston, Texas, on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday? Today we're going to do a little something different on the channel. And, you know, with the NFL season just 70 plus days, you know, around the corner, and hopefully none of this COVID really knocks down the schedule and it starts in September. You know, we got to thinking about some of the things that I talked about with Mike Meltzer. I want to say maybe last week or the week before that. And, you know, definitely dive into what we call some of the most dominant games that the Houston Texans have, and why these certain games stand out more than others. Now, as you know, Tim Kelly was basically named the offensive coordinator, last year, and we really did witness it at times that it was more Kelly calling the plays. I think the Chiefs game was one of those games, both in the regular season and in the playoffs, where you saw certain plays that kind of showed you, okay, this is probably deriving a little bit outside of O'Brien's comfort zone, and really saw the creativeness that can come with Tim Kelly. I think that definitely excites a lot of people. I think what gives fear to a lot of people is that they feel like O'Brien will always find a way to come back and sabotage the team, whether it's pulling back the reins on Tim Kelly or not allowing him to eventually really stretch himself out as much as he wants to. But when you look back at some of these games, man, they were really impactful. The play calling on it was really brilliant, genius. Even when you at times, I think the offense was getting stopped, you never felt down about it. You never felt frustrated about it. And I think that's what definitely can make the Houston Texans dangerous and a contender this year. Now, do I have the Texans winning the AFC? I'm not saying the AFC South. I'm saying the AFC as a whole as the number one seed. I don't. But I wouldn't put it past them to be the second or third seed. And look, yes, the schedule is hard. Yes, the season is a little bit irregular with everything that's going on. But I think there's been a lot of talk when it comes to Deshaun Watson, and can he be that elite quarterback that a lot of people have not really placed him in. You look at some of the film study that he's had, you look at some of the pressers that he's had, and it just doesn't seem like people really give him the props or the credit. Some of that could be just a Houston thing. Some of it is just, you know, people just can't get past Bill O'Brien, and for a certain extent, I can definitely understand. But anyways, man, let's get right into it, man. The game I really want to take a look at today, I think at points of this game, even on defense, we were very dominant. But on offense, I just saw a complete different team, a team that reminds you of Deshaun's rookie year, except a little more methodical, a little more organized, a little more determined to run certain plays and not shy from them. A team and in a game where I believe Deshaun was allowed to audible quite a lot. He was allowed to run the offense, and from everything that the Texans have been saying, that is exactly what they are wanting to allow Deshaun to do with Tim Kelly this year, is basically find ways that Deshaun Watson likes to run this offense and allow him to run this offense. I definitely want to give credit not only to Tim Kelly on this, but I've heard O'Brien, whether it's sound effects or pressers, really tried to push him that route of being that Peyton Manning and getting at the line. I actually want to say it was a clip at practice where O'Brien was telling Deshaun Watson to get up to the line, to audible. Things that you would never hear O'Brien say with Brock Osweiler. He wanted Brock Osweiler to run things exactly by the book, and that frustrated Brock, because there's a lot of rumors out there that the playbook wasn't really being shared with him in totality. Let's review the Texans versus Patriots Week 13 game. Off the bat, man, I want you to pay attention to this big turnaround, I think, early in the game. Bradley Roby, man, just beating on the inside. getting a pick. I really wish in this play he gets to the touchdown, but nonetheless he gets us to the 4-yard line, and to me it is a heck of a play. Notice the pressure from the defense, right there in the gap, really getting in Tom's face, forces him to release the ball, and what a read from Bradley Roby to get us turned on in this game. Here we go, offense now on track. We give the ball right to Carlos Hyde. This is some of the yards that I would say I would want David Johnson to get. Some of the yards that I definitely want David Johnson to get. Carlos Hyde, just when you thought maybe he was not going to get any yards, or maybe he'd get 1 yard, he'd break for 3 or 4. And that definitely helped the offense at times. And, if you can't get that from David Johnson, it's going to be a long year at running back. And so I hope that he is able to fill that gap. Now, one thing I did want to pull back on that right there. Notice one thing there when the offensive line is trying to make this push. Everybody seems to make a good push. Now, at this point in the season, you don't have Titus Howard, but you have Clark as right tackle. And if you notice, everybody on the offensive line already is on the move before Clark makes a decision to start. This could have definitely been named as a false start, but either way, just doesn't get enough push there. Darren Fells as well doesn't help too much on the block, and that's why Hyde was barely able to get any yardage there, and actually had to force himself to go to the inside instead of bouncing to the outside. Things that I feel like definitely should improve with Titus Howard on the right instead of Clark. And so now we're at 2nd and 8, ball on the 19. I believe this one is going to be a check down. Yep. Carlos Hyde just barely gets out of there. I want you guys to notice this right here. Carlos Hyde just gets around Martin. And, the check down right there. That's another thing right here in this game particularly. Man, if I could just get this pause. One thing in particular that we saw a lot from Deshaun Watson in this particular game against the Patriots was that he was using his check down. I want to say he used it about 3 or 4 times in the game where he noticed, look, this I could play it here, but we're not going to get as much yardage as just dinking and dunking right here to my running back who's ready to receive the ball and could potentially make a bigger play. I mean, like I said, if you swap these catches with David Johnson this year, you could potentially gain more yards if he gets back to form. Here you see it. Hopkins coming out wide. Everyone's giving attention to the left side where all the wide receivers is. Duke Johnson. Now, this is a hell of a run from Duke Johnson because I want you guys to notice this on this run here. So Duke Johnson, first of all, he signals DeAndre Hopkins wide. He points out the spy. But then notice what Duke Johnson is going to do here. Now, he could have gone outside. Instead, he chooses, since the linebacker is really forcing him to go outside, he chooses to go back inside and then outside, and that is one hell of a move. Van Noy cannot keep up with him, and first touchdown of the night for the Houston Texans. And here we go. I mean, just a beautiful play here by the Houston Texans. Hell of a move by Duke Johnson. This right here is escaping the pocket by Deshaun Watson. This is what makes Deshaun Watson special. I think because, just when plays should be down, he obviously escapes. Definitely wish Hopkins would have been able to catch that ball, but he was running out of territory. Another thing I want you guys to notice in this film breakdown is who is going to be the replacement for DeAndre Hopkins. Now, some of these plays, DeAndre Hopkins is lined up in the slot, and so you could potentially say, well, that could be Randall Cobb right there in the slot, and it definitely can be. But on some of these plays, when it's on the outside, both Fuller, Kenny Stills, Brandon Cooks are wide receivers that are going to have to step up and fill that void if Deshaun Watson chooses to call them. Because definitely see a lot of plays that are broken, and Deshaun Watson and Hopkins are just able to capitalize on. 2nd and 10 here, ball on the 45. Signal Kenny still over. This one right here, hell of a play by Akins, breaks the tackle, gets downfield, man. This is what we need our tight ends to do. We don't just need them to catch the ball. We need them to break tackles. We need them to gain yak. This is why everyone is excited about Kahale Warring. This is one of the things that he definitely did in college. And so, hey, the more conversions that we can get from our tight ends, the more stacked the box can be, the greater the chances are that we take deep shots down the field, as you'll see further down here on this drive. So you see here Duke helping him pull out the spy, signals Kenny Stills. Now it's very important to notice Kenny Stills, because what he does is he takes a man that was covering the left side, really opens it up for Akins, for him to really be one-on-one there with that safety and make a play. So very important. I think Kenny Still being a decoy at times is very important for this offense. So I hope that he continues to do that. Definitely good yardage there. This is second quarter, 1st and 10, ball at the 36. Right here, this is an excellent read from Deshaun Watson, and I'm going to show you why. You see, right here when he snaps it, he's making the read, but he sees Jackson on the left side, and he basically makes a decision, I'm not going to be able to outrun him. I think my running back has a better chance to pick up more yardage than I can. That's a very, very smart move. Later on in the game, unfortunately, though, he makes the same read, and he could have kept it and gone for bigger yardage there. 2nd and 9 here. Now this cross route is beautiful work here by Hopkins, and I believe that's Darren Fells. Yep. Here comes Darren Fells, flips to the right side. Now I want you guys to notice right here at the point of intersection, everyone can tell that Fells is not going to get the ball, but the way that he's blocking, it makes it easier for, I guess you could see, it can kind of be like a screen, if you like, with Gilmore, and it allows Hopkins to get open. Like I said, with a speedier receiver, this play could possibly go for longer, for more. But either way, Hopkins does the job there. And here we go, 1st and 10, ball on the 22, 2nd quarter here. Now, very important here, the reads that Deshaun Watson does and basically signals with his running back, whether he is switching him from the left to the right or the right to the left. Very, very important here. Take a look at this. There we go. Check down. Duke Johnson gets as much yards. Notice how he'll read this here. Now, I want you guys to understand this. What he does here is not only does he flip Duke Johnson there, but now he forces Hightower to go outside and cover Kenny Stills in the slot, which then forces the safety to drop back and not be so much in the box, which allows basically Duke Johnson to come and get that check down and pick up that much yardage. And that's an excellent read from Deshaun Watson. These are the things that I don't think people talk about, and Deshaun Watson did quite excellent in this game. And I feel like the more confidence that they give him, the more ability that they give him to really call things at the line of scrimmage, the more games like this we're going to see. Here we go, 2nd and 1, ball on the 13. This here is that 3 tight end set that everyone was talking about. All right, you have Akins on the left side. You have Darren Fells on the right side, and right behind them, I believe, is Carlos Hyde. So it actually wasn't a 3 tight end set. And then in for the touchdown, Darren Fells. Man, when you looked at that play, you thought to yourself, can it get any easier? Now, when they put both tight ends and the running back, I want you guys to notice how stacked the box is with the Patriots. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All 10 players are there. So this is a very easy play. Dink, great, just shovel pass right there. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Now, I definitely want to just play this highlight here because this was an exciting moment. Bradley Roby has just been called for holding, I believe, on an interception. And so that negated the interception. And then here comes, and I think this is where Anthony Weaver's ideas were being implemented. This is one of the plays that I think we're going to continue to see from Anthony Weaver, using the defensive backs to really blitz. And Tom Brady just has no chance there. Back to the offense, though. Now, this right here is a bad snap. Early snap from Nick Martin to Deshaun Watson. I want you to notice this. Look how surprised Deshaun Watson looks. Boom. He decides quickly. Boom. Kenny Stills drops a dime. Man, 1st and 10 ball on the 35 now. Here we go. Still with that 2 tight end set. Now, Deshaun Watson keeps it and throws it. Unfortunately, DeAndre Hopkins cannot come up with it. I think he thought that he was going to go to the tight end there. Caught not being ready. And so, fortunately there. Yep. See, it's kind of even Akins, throws his hands up there. So, 2nd and 10 ball on the 35. Still the second quarter. This right here is the deep shot to Will Fuller. And look, this is a dime, man. Will Fuller here, you got to catch that. Look, they threw 3 at him in the Chiefs game, identical to this, and just could not keep control. Same thing here. Throws a dime to Will Fuller. Unfortunately, Will Fuller could not keep up with it. But Deshaun Watson likes what he sees on this play. So this is where I say he is in full control. Now, it is now going to be 3rd and 10. Ball still on the 35-yard. And he's going to, look, you see DeAndre Hopkins down here. He's saying, what are we doing? He says, Deshaun says, just spread wide. Hopkins moves a little bit wider. Signals to Kenny Stills. And boom. This, to me, was even a bigger dime than it was to Will Fuller. And Kenny Stills does not miss the catch. Look at that. This is just perfection. Executed to perfection. And I remember this play very exact because I remember they were showing Bill O'Brien on the sideline. And Bill O'Brien is trying to ask Deshaun Watson why did he call what he called there. And Deshaun Watson's trying to explain. I'm like, no, this look worked. And I knew it was going to work again. And so I just ran it. So heck of a play to Kenny Stills, man. False start here, man. This is definitely something that the offense has to improve. Has to improve there. Signals Will Fuller a little bit. Will Fuller coming in to the slot. Just one of those slants that definitely always goes to Hopkins, and Hopkins just making what he does. This, like I said, him lining up on the outside and making this play. Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, just going to have to make these plays, man. All right, here it goes. This is the one play that I'm telling you, if Deshaun Watson keeps this play, you'll notice he's pretty much gone on the side. And then the thing about it, here's what I would do different on this one. I will pull Carter all the way to the right and actually help to be more of a blocker. Maybe Carter's not the right person to put on there. Maybe you could put a tight end there, and you could definitely be a better read there. Deshaun Watson can come out, have a blocker as a tight end, gain much more yardage. These are definitely things that I think Tim Kelly, it's not far from Tim Kelly thinking. I'm sure he can get it right. 2nd and 8, ball on the 41. This is a bomb here to Hopkins. Yeah, Hopkins doing what he does, man. Very important here. I want you guys to notice. Look who comes free here. Van Noy comes free. So Deshaun Watson has to release quickly. Sees DeAndre Hopkins, makes a decision. Very, very decisive game. Very, very decisive game from Deshaun Watson, man. Just a very decisive game from Deshaun Watson here against the Patriots. More of what we need from him. Just another hard run by Duke Johnson. This play right here. Now, we got DeAndre Carter kind of in the slot. We got Kenny Stills. I would like to see Hopkins there. Be more of a decoy, right? If Hopkins is in the slot with Kenny Stills on the inside as well, Hopkins is more of a decoy here. I don't think the defenders believe that Carter is going to get this ball, and I think that definitely, obviously, Clark also not being able to block as good doesn't allow Duke Johnson to get as much yardage as he should have on that play. Here we go, another switch from Deshaun Watson to the running back, switching them from one side to the other. He almost had the same play, and I think this is obviously we get pass for holding there. Call for holding there. But I want you to notice that part right there. Just coming free, man. Just coming free. Has to make a decision. Steps up. Hold. I mean, at this point, the linebackers are frustrated. 1st and 6. Ball on the 6. Here we go. Deshaun Watson. This is a tricky play. To me, this was one hell of a play, man. One hell of a play. And honestly, I think it would have been even sold more. The fact that Deshaun Watson had to make that much effort to still get in the end zone, I think you could sell this even better. Instead of DeAndre Carter there on the outside, put Kenny Stills there, and they'll definitely, because we've run this before with Kenny Stills, that kind of a bootleg screen. There goes DeAndre Hopkins, tosses it to Deshaun Watson, touchdown, end of the game. Pretty much end of the scoring that we had. But this is definitely, I think, one of the Texans' best game. And, the creativity that you see in that game, the control that you see from Deshaun Watson is just one of those things. That game, regardless of kind of, I guess, Tom Brady and New England kind of coming back, you never were afraid that New England was going to win that game. And man, it was one of our best games during the season. And if every game can turn out like that, as dominant and comfortable for Deshaun Watson, we're going to be in every game. And teams are going to have to find ways to shut us down. And so, I guess when you take this game and you get into O'Brien's head and you think, well, this is probably why he's bringing in those pieces. I agree when people say you could have still brought in those pieces and kept DeAndre Hopkins. I think in this particular game, we spread the ball quite a lot. And at moments when Deshaun Watson had to make decisive decisions, he either was checking down to the running back, or he was, he was giving it right there to DeAndre Hopkins to the sure hands. And look, Will Fuller has to be better. He has to be more consistent with his hands. He has to be more consistent with just being on the field, period. We got to see what Randall Cobb is going to be in the slot. And then our tight end. I think our tight end game can be better. Our tight end game could be greater, not just in the blocking in space, but also in the yak and really getting more yardage when they catch the ball. And then, of course, Brandon Cooks has to be that X factor. He has to be that X factor for this team really to take it to another level. But anyways, man, that is my spiel. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. If you guys liked what we did today, let me know. Comment in the section below. And we'll continue to see if we can bring you more games to this. Shout out to the NFL, man. Not only my subscriber of review tape with NFL games, but for the longest, they've been giving this free material to NFL fans. And so thankful to y'all. All the credit for them for any of this film. So for you guys to say we're stealing copyright stuff out there, there it is. I said it on video. Put it in the description bar. Hey, but you guys know what it is, baby. It's H-Town. Let's get it. Blah!